All right. Hey guys, what is going on? It is Intelligent Cycle back here with another commentary now. So this time, doing another one of my volume series, just my thoughts, where I cover artists, musicians from current to the older previous generations that don't get the kind of recognition and love that they deserve. And this time, I'm gonna cover and talk about probably one of the better new school rappers that goes by the name Jason Andrew Mick Jenkins. And this guy's a 34-year-old Chicago hip hop artist. He continues to make waves and continues to make strides. So here we go. Jason Jenkins, better known by his stage name Mick Jenkins, is an American hip hop recording artist in Huntsville, Alabama, born on Huntsville, Alabama on April 16, 1991. Then he was raised on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. Member of Free Nation, a hip hop group that promotes creative through thought without accepting narrow views imposed by the powers that be. This group believes that when you find a way to combat the status quo, then you are free. At an early age, Mick Jenkins' mother introduced him to contemporary soul greats such as Prince, Erykah Badu, Sade, and Jill Scott. Then, then promoting Then promoting her son's musical sensibility, the young artist was charmed by the emotions carried out on this musical stage and later found in hip hop music to be another effective vehicle of these same feelings due to his lyrical richness. And as he grew older, his passion for music developed at an ever increasing rap talent. This led him to enter a rap competition called Who Got Bars, who, during his sophomore year at University of Oakwood in Huntsville, Alabama, crossed the mind and the chemistry that he forged with the Free Nation. The competition that inspired him to take his lyrical persuasions seriously. In the fall of 2012, Mick Jenkins returned to Chicago and began attending YCH, Young Chicago Authors, a youth center, where his first a cappella verse caught the attention of a local artist and leader of Chicago's Pivot Gang collective, Saba. Shortly after, the two collaborated on Hoax for Saba's 2012 mixtape, Comfortable. In the spring of 2013, Mick released a mixtape entitled Trees and Truths. It quickly became a local favorite, buoyed by acid jazz influenced production, biblical allegory, and lacerating lyricism. The project was by far his most lyrical body of work and caught the attention of Chicago incipient gatekeepers. And a few months after his release, the collaboration with Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa came to the fore on the single entitled Crossroads, which was a summer hit. In recent months, Mick has been receiving a lot of attention after the release of his single, Visual Martyrs. The song juxtaposes harsh truths about our society with a catchy hook, creating a thought-provoking single with various underlying messages and subtle notions. Martyrs was a thought-provoking single with various underlying messages and subtle notions. Martyrs had led people such as Timbaland, among others, to reach out and praise Jenkins for his musical talent and intricate lyricism. Mick continues to find ways to convey his message and he will soon be releasing a new project at the time called The Waters, which is supposed to grab national attention. And of course, these are all of his past shows from 2015, 2014, going all the way back up until now. From when he did the show in Madison, Cunningham, The Rapture, and of course, Red Bull Productions, First Avenue. So yeah, this is just kind of a little bit of an autopsy for him. But how I got onto Mick Jenkins was actually of his second mixtape called The Waters. And mainly what got me onto him was mainly that I seen and caught evident and wind of his intricate, more potent, more savvy, and more excruciatingly just invoking lyricism. And also because of his R&B his R&B sampling, soul sampling, and it's also knowing how to bob and weave and move lyrics and move ways that really kind of counterbalance and countersue of all of his other like contemporaries in his age bracket in the new age of hip hop. So yeah, and actually, this goes into my next topic as I'm about to cover his latest song called Coco Gauff. Let's get into that record real quick. All right, let's get into that real quick. All right, so in most recent times, so let's talk about the song Coco Gauff, which I love the production. First off, by DJ .bx, and also I believe Molati. He was also on the production as well. So I really love the fact that the production really felt like some more intricate, more jazzy hip hop feeling, and that's what I got from it. But my favorite lines off of this was when he says, "R.P. Mac Quest, no direction. All I see is Cap Cook won't digress. It's not in my flex. What do you readers digesting? 9 out of 10, you can't answer my questions. Niggas feeling froggy, you might get dissected. Heard they won't smoke. Get haze if I'm stepping. I'm looking to get even. Thought I would get my streaming. Then Spotify got my hands out of my pocket, but it wall whole doorbell and niggas was still knocking. While the whole Orwell, I get into this arc. Y'all enter by 2-7 purebreds. My niggas gonna ride too. Know the pigs, and when they call them Kaju, leave you out the ash. Leave you in the ash and don't get the ride and don't want to be ride cool. We gotta evolve. We gotta still be blind. We still gotta see it all. OP is how I feel. We see this odyssey fall. Regularly gotta be real. Get this autonomy off. Economy y'all knowing that I gotta be Gauff. So for those of you who don't know, Coco Gauff is one of the more notable tennis players and one of the more notable black tennis players, and I believe she is from Chicago, and that's where he kind of got the inspiration for him. But I love the last bit of lines, especially when he says, "Thought I would took my shop streaming then Spotify, get my hands out of my pocket." That kind of goes into the conversation that I really had with a lot of other people, myself, about how streaming really is not letting the artists get their actual they're not making money off of the streaming, off of the songs. And the reason why is because these companies want to make a big pothole, a big pot percentage off it, and you have to do it from benchmarking, and that's what they go off of now. So it really is kind of you only really making a certain, say if you get say up to 500,000 streams, you're not getting paid the amount of money of the streams, so which is you might get paid a lot less. So that's the part that I feel like a lot of newer artists should really understand and really should take from what Mick Jenkins is talking about, because they kind of been doing it to him also for a minute when it comes to his last project, why it wasn't a whole lot of promotion off of the Cinematic Music Group. Also, that's where the label that he's at, where it wasn't a whole lot of promotion for The Patience nor Elephant in the Room, because of the fact that they didn't know what single to push out for his project, and they didn't know exactly what to just really give forth of the song that they really wanted to get out of the way. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. They didn't know really what song to push from those records. I really thought that they could have pushed the track with Freddie Gibbs. I'm kind of not remembering names right now. Um, I really thought they could have pushed that song, but no, they didn't. And of course, Elephant in the Room was another really good project from him. Again, singles wise, they didn't really push his music like they should. And so I really like this song because again, Coco Gauff is kind of like one of the more famous athletes from Chicago, and they kind of got their center base focusing off of this. And this is also an upcoming project that he's coming out called "A Murdering Crows." So this is one of the this is one of the leading songs that he's got to come out, and that he's coming out on this album, which is coming out on October the 3rd. So I'm glad he really is getting in forth and actually trying to push a rollout for his project and taking it more slowly and more seamlessly. Because with that being said, you have to give the fans exactly what they really expect and what they really pushing for. And again, I think with Mick, he's definitely somebody that likes to push the boundaries with his thought-provoking lyrics, intricate schemes, double entendres, metaphors. He always got that. He always got that fire in his soul. And meanwhile, a lot of people should really talk about him in the top 5 newer age rappers because the man's only like what 33, 34 years old, so he's still pretty young in the game. So he still got some, got ways to, you know, push further in his career. So I really do like what he's doing, and I really do like the way he's giving the effort and pushing the effort into inspiring a lot of others. And with fourth being said, pushing the boundaries as far as his lyrics goes, pushing the boundaries as far as his patterns. Yeah, he really is an artist that you really got to listen to multiple times to really get certain schemes, to get really certain double entendres, because you think you might get it the first time. Nah, you with multiple probably even 3 listens, you can at least picture and pinpoint exactly where he's coming from because it's definitely warranted. So that's my thoughts about the song Coco Gauff. Um, I'm gonna do something with you guys too. I'm gonna show you another one of my favorite songs and an example of what I mean by Mick being so intricate. So let me do this real quick. This is not in the title of the video. And don't worry, guys. I know you expected me. I will talk about the 21 Pilots because that is the next one after this. And then last but not least, I will talk about the Ghostface Killah Supreme Clientele too. So I will talk about those projects. But I'm gonna just show you. A record in particular, that really is gonna make it drive home the point of my example of how intricate he is. So Mick's song called "Martyrs." When I love the lines where he says in the first verse where he says, "Shorty told me that she not do the fakes. Some got weed, my nigga mow the lawn with it got too many snakes. The same got Eve. What, you ain't never seen it on a horse? You ain't seen Sheep Keith's new Porsche. You ain't seen that yet. Better not got to spit like a chain with Newports. All that it's got guns now, and I got to carry them with the F and B. All these girls giving it up now. Shame I got the cherry steams in the effing street. Niggas aim too high, lead the lows. Niggas hang too high, see the lows." Again, that's a really good adding of wordplay. Aim to lead the lows, hang too high to see the low. That's some dope stuff right there. And just before you forgot about him, overlook and started doubting. I dosed it the flow and started talking all this water shit with the flow with the flows like I started drowning. It's truth that I thought is pounding. I started counting the loopholes in the stories that they tell us, and every. Hello, Moto. All right, guys. Sorry about that. It was interrupted. Sorry about the interruption, guys. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying about the record. So yeah, when he says even at 10 when I with a Judy Sue is on the TV telling songs in the key of life. He was on your Stevie. I pray it's never too preachy, but I'm preaching. Like he's really just very, very potent with it. Another really good line where he says, "We're not in the same chateau. They shine a soul, and just so in the shade of my shadow, ginger ale in my chest. I ain't never been champagne swallow. I never ran from a bottle. I rather hung from the gallows for a better straight bullet. Catch a nigga on a 9, Trey 8, pulling up 09, Kwame Brown. If a nigga act a fool with him, we put an M on the line. It's a shame that the game is on these young niggas' minds. Like, man, oh my goodness, like." Do y'all see what I'm talking about when it comes to just his intricacies and when it comes to just his just heightened level lyricism, man? This is a young cat, by the way. This is probably in his late 20s when he made this project, and he still continues to just drive home on why you should pay attention more to him. Let me see. Let me do one more. Okay. Do one more project. Hold on. Let's just do this. Let's just do this real quick. I wanted to see if they actually have his other project. Let me see if they have his other project. Give me 1 second, guys. Damn it. Okay, I guess they don't have. Okay, never mind. They do. All right. That's what I was looking for. So let's go back to where it all started for me. After hearing that project, I had to go back to Trees and Truths. Now, my favorite song on here was, let me see where it gets there. Here we go. This is my favorite song on this whole entire record. It's called Negro League. Man. Where he says, Sock trail chiefing on the back porch, grilling each other. Conversation was penicillin niggas, healing as the others with fam do. Free nation rebel soldier. Drop boulders and never pebbles is what I can do. Paint the Black Panther like the standards like Huey P. Newton or Bobby Seale. Cam Newton or Isaac Newton, what you probably feel. The apple off your forehead, don't chalk it up to gravity. I'm dropping knowledge actually. I'm dropping college actually. I left out with my credits. Give me credit, nigga. With credentials with this pencil with your toes keep put on my soul on instrumentals. Foot fetish, nigga. If you don't couldn't hide the 50 camels. And if I would have chick you with the hump you with like 50 camelbacks. Booty like a camelback, sick as a 50 camelback pack of cigarettes. Don't give me lip unless you got his camel toe. Nights with the camel, like we in Camelot, what you call him with the Lancelot. With the swing I Excalibur my ignorance. Nice on a round table. Nice with the profound fables. Nice of this thrift shift. We fable with the covet. We love it, the pivot, to turn around and down like it's a buck on her mind, like I give her if she's fine. Give me nickels and quarters. We ain't building foundations. We found it like a spitting like a motor. Snapping ladders like a peanut brittle with distances shorter. Man, like dog. And then he says, Michigan hitting Wisconsin. Winter's cold, but it's warm when it's Jackson out there next to your Johnson. And you seem to bring the action all over your Bronson. Bratwurst. I be in the Negro please, and no matter how you rap, it's just like the Negro leaves. I'm talking Lex and speaking truths. Yo. And I love the hook where he says, and they ain't got an effing clue when the world gon' blow. If a ground start when I can bet you out the door with the blunt, with the prayer for the fam, for the free cause. It's like all my peoples know. That's the only way to go. For the free that the cause of my peoples know. That's the only way to go. Like, yeah, that was an incredible record right there, man. And yeah, this goes back to Trees and Truths and my favorite song on here. So and I could talk about also pad cuts and pocket tees, but I really wanted to talk about this track because the beat was so hard, and also Mick's rapping on here was just so dang potent. But yeah, he's been fired like this for a long time, so I just wanted to give you guys a blueprint on how good he is as an artist and as an MC. So yeah, check this dude out if you have not, and check out the latest song Coco Gauff. Yeah, you will definitely not be disappointed. Now, let's get to the next topic and an album review that you guys have been waiting for, and I wanted to talk about. So, 21 Pilots with their album entitled Breach. And give me 1 second, guys. Gotta do something real quick. Alright, oh, that, oh, alright.
Don't break my clay pots either.
I didn't know you got any clay pots.
I just got them.
Huh?
I just got them.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Got enough towel paper to last for a long time.
Got some old shit, man.
Some old chippers. Cereal.
Oh, you got 3 bags of those sour cream chips.
Yeah, this time. Ran out quick last time. Not this time.
Wait. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like now, brother.
Yeah, I gotta get back to doing something real quick. Hold on. All right. All right, guys. So back with another back once again. So yeah, as I was saying, 21 Pilots has just released their newest album, Breach, and of course, co-founded by Tyler Joseph, the musician, and the drummer, trumpet Josh Dunn, and they cover mostly indie pop. So with this record is encompassing of their 8th studio album, and 3 in the last like 4.5 years. So this album is not really like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily breaking as much new ground as their previous work as far as lyrics. Tyler really isn't like going super expounding as far as his range, his range, his feelings. But what it is encompassing and what it is saying, because I did hear the songs "The Contract" and the second single "Drum Show" was released back in August the 18th, and those songs were really really good and really in particular. Again, like I was saying, it didn't really break as much new ground. It didn't really break as much mold as far as Trench goes or as far as Clancy that came out last year. I love the songs overcompensate from that one. And the thing is, from what I thought about those records, I love the pulsating, indie pop production, and they continued a little bit of that on here, but it was a lot of hardcore rock sounds too, and that's what I really like is the genre bending here as far as the production goes. But let's start with the intro track, "City Walls," which is definitely gonna be. I'll be playing this song for a while. This song was really really good. So let's start off with that, where the lyrics goes, "Square up with me. I could take your right now. Throw a left pair up with me. I could take your right to the chest. Warpath etching the surface. Lines of the yellow tape. They're moving quiet like a serpentine in formation. Buddy, that's my team. Pretty impatient. Now they're waiting on me. Now I'm the furthest we've reached. Now move it up. It's a breach." That I'm gonna be replaying. Those lines was so good. That whole verse was really really good from Tyler. Very very angry, pulsating, aggressive, very affluent, and very just straightforward to the point. I really like this line too, where he says, "I wrote my promise in a pencil, but my loyalty's pen. Use it as a mistake with a crooked stencil, Then we trace it back again from the mainland and the island of the violence, and the same plan for a while decided to send me up, rip you out of your seat. You see, us in a city with no interest, there's not a retreat. I wonder what you thought would happen, who you thought would be, and with the side swipe, and did you picture this as a dream? Buckle down, this is probably the furthest we've reached. Now move it up, it's a breach." Yeah, those are some really, really potent words right there. And I like the chorus. "I wonder where you are. I wonder where you are. I want to show you me, the way around the city walls, the way on though. I wonder where you are. But now the night has fallen, abandoned by the sun." Really, really dope lines. Really, really dope lines on there. Absolutely, really potent. A great intro track to start off the album. Now let's go to the second track. If I can get okay. Let's go to the second track, "Raw Fear." Which, of course, the production also, Tyler contributes on here a lot, and Paul Meany and etc. And it's multitude of producers on here too. I like the chorus goes, "Raw fear moves me, sounds like empty Uzis. Life's yeah, I know. Life is just forever nipping heels, never slowing down. Raw fear moves me, sound of the empty Uzis. Life is just forever gripping feels, never slowing down." I like where in the part where he says, "You know what scares me now is stupid. You met my fears, now we're all regulars. Wait, who's the new kid? You know what kills me, not getting stronger. All I can now, I can't seem to sit still any longer." I like the chorus. I like the bridge also where he says, "Learning all that really matters is slow, a painful lesson. Never slowing down, never slowing down. If it's not a pass or fail, but it's a poisonous progression, never slowing down, never slowing down, never slowing down. Tried to microdose to immunity, but you never ever get it. Never slowing down, never slowing down." And that continues to go on. So yeah, that was more or less felt more like a interlude, more like a prelude to what's going to happen next. And again, I felt like that was more center focus on the bridging and the chorus and the singing and the production as well. So, but still, a solid second song. Let's go to the track Downstairs. Now, let's go to that one real quick. I like that. I really do love the chorus on here because after hearing it yesterday and last night, downstairs I feel better in the cellar. Down there is shelter from the weather. I wear all of my heart on my sleeve. I take what I believe. I'm hiding it. Downstairs I feel better in the cellar. Downstairs I feel it's some shelter in the weather. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Take what I believe, and I'm hiding it. Feel like I'm nothing. Feeling like I'm run down. I was afraid of nothing. Now I'm just ashamed. Now I hide my face from you. And it continues to go on from there. And I like the fact that the chorus extends. And I'm hiding it, yeah, because I want to be the one. I'm hiding it, yeah, because after your own heart. And I'm hiding it, yeah. I might doubt the process like I doubt from the start. I love that. And I also love that Tyler always extends certain choruses and certain lines, and extends choruses and extends choruses and songs, and extends lines, because you never know if it could connect to something from the first verse or the second, and also it connect to the last chorus or the pre-chorus. You never know if it could connect. But that's what I love about what Tyler does. He continues to elevate his pen. He continues to elevate his songwriting, but also at the same time, he continues to evolve as an artist. All right, so we can talk about one of the main singles that was released, and a track that I am gonna go back to again as well. Let's go to the contract. This was the main one single that was released back in June. So I'll just talk about this briefly. Don't sleep much, that's crazy. How do you know that? Keep myself up, that's maybe how you know that. Oh, promises the contracts I used to keep. I don't sleep much, that's crazy, how you know that? Is it light out yet? It's the light out yet? Better find out, better yet. I'ma walk out the edge of the room and the bed where I hide my face, pace around. Better try to breathe, pace around, pace around. So yeah, I gather from this song is Tyler is really kind of going into a mode of just picking a part of his own life and picking a part of just I feel like Tyler is picking apart much of fears of more or less insomnia, which he suffers and which he talks about from his last album, Clancy. And of course, with songs like Routines in the Night, that's what kind of gave me the feeling of that. So he continues on in this song, The Contract, as he continues on that path and on that track. And then of course, going back to the Vessel era, the Vessel and the Regional at Best era, songs like Ode to Sleep, I guess that kind of figures what the lyrics are probably connected to on that record as well, from these chorus and from the main verse, the main verse. I really think that's a good way of putting it in lightly, in tune. All right, so let's go to another song. All right, let's go to track 8, Center Mass. which I think is probably one of the more underrated cuts from the project. Love the verse here where he says, "A little softer than I used to be, right? Used to mouth off when it with the often with artillery. Now it's caught, drops the soft spots in the middle seat right this way. Chivalry, take that tighter space when I used to know, right? Spread out wide no more, pitch my shoulders closed, hoping that my mind plays my reservation right this way." And I love in the chorus, I really like the chorus where he says, "I pull on my shirt sleeve to cover half my hands, bring my arms close to my body, get as small as I can. They call it center mass. They aim for, shrink it down, nothing and forgetting what pain's for. They call it center mass, the part they aim for. That's blasphemy." He says, "Right this way if you're frustrated. Your first mate with the 5th grade charter was sprayed. Try it once, you was shown off the short bus right this way. And my chains off my huff, anxious enough as it is." He kind of pretty much is talking about one of his friends when he was younger, learned about huffing, inhaling chemicals just to get high and try to convince him to do it. Then he says, "Chains on my hush," which is referring to Tyler's faith as breaking chains. It's a common Christian way of saying God will set you free from something. So yeah, very religious reference, and also very much tied to a lot of his drug and habits. So yeah, he's pretty much getting that stuff off of his chest right there. Really like that. Really like that part. And really like that lines. And last but not least, let's talk about the last song and go over the lyrics of the last song, Intentions. All right, so here we go. "I am starting it all over again. Did I learn a thing?" And then he goes in verse 2. You'll fail most every way. Did you learn a thing? Intentions lack memory. Intentions will set you free." Very, very short. More like a very short outro song in here. But from what I gathered in this album, overall, is Tyler is expressing a lot of his personal, is expressing more or less an overview of his own like discrepancies in life. He's expressing more so religious texts. He's owing back to a lot of the times where he made records like "Ode to Sleep," "Routines in the Night," where he's had certain times, had trouble sleeping, and all these different things. So it was a lot of things that he was talking about that really, really hits the core. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say it's breaking as much new ground. I feel like it's more of like this album is more like an ode to a lot of their other previous work from him and Josh Dunn. Production wise, I don't necessarily believe it's breaking much new grounds, but it continues the tradition. It continues the way of them expressing, being more boastful, being more humbling, being more humbly bragging, he being more assertive and being more pulsating, being more belligerent and being more not condescending, but assuring, not unassuring, but be more assuring of their path as they're walking down this bright yellow path as they see in life. And I really do appreciate what they're discussing. I really like the lyrics. I like the choruses. Feels more lively. It feels more energetic. It feels more attention grabbing. It definitely keeps you wondering and guessing where they're gonna go next with their rhymes. So I really like this album a lot. I give this a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely one I would recommend you guys to check out. I don't know if this is better than Clancy. I think Clancy may slightly be better than this as far as just the lyrics goes. but I feel like this one definitely keeps you on the rough edge and rough shots where they're gonna go musically. So yeah, check this one out. So last but not least, I will talk about is the Ghostface Killer album, Supreme Clientele 2. And I'm going to be very brief and short with this project. Ghostface Killer Supreme Clientele 2. Now, what I do love about this project, I really do like about this project is Ghostface Killer had a lot of great R&B samples and cuts, and also really got back to a lot of the older projects that he made in the past, from Iron Man, Fish Scale, More Fish, Supreme Clientele, the first one. He continues to get a lot of old school R&B cuts and samples like he did previously on those projects, but at the same time keep that more raw and gritty, same time just boom bap side in his music, and kept that same core overall and pretty much elevates his whole entire scenery for it. And that's the thing that I really appreciate about him. And you can hear that on songs like Iron Man, for example, which was produced by Cheddar Bang. But also he continues with gritty and raw street hood tales and lyricism where he kind of goes and stamp on the dope like Ronald Reagan with fronts. My man ran all over his legs. Ran over his legs. All we heard is the crunch. Chase back, nobody moved. Just finished your lunch. Dang, I got brain butter all over my dunks. Fake Democrats, boom daggers blowing at Trump. I put weight on so many bodies you can call me a clump. I'm like Gorgabev and Vanilla Cream Wallies. I be showing off. Hit you like Steven Seagal. I pull your shoulder out. Yo, that was crazy. That was a crazy metaphor reference. And also he continues what he was always known for, his character personas, mainly from Iron Man and also Pretty Tony Stark. His real name Tony Stark, like the real Iron Man. He continues as he pretty much alludes it in the interlude. Really in blocks, Swahilian mops, imported a camel cream, Brazilian fox. I got Wall Street bugging on my helium socks. I got a fountain of youth and million of pop. And shout out to the wheelchair wide, they got busy. And let me do this. Alright. Let's go to... Let's go into the main single that I want to talk about, which is probably my favorite song on this whole album, Rap Kingpin. Man, because the beat on here was produced by Graham Jones and himself. Man, this beat was so hard, but where he says, this most valuable bars that'll clap you, black British walkers and diamonds and tassels. Cats say kids rock more glass than they splash you. My goon out project like I got a Tony Stark statue. I'm like Gandhi on dust. I got young swinging they blade, they clink, they chain swinging cats, and they remind me of us. We got old money, old 20s, and gold mouth full of fronts. We in Swiss Alps, effing mad snow bunnies. Syringe wrap 40 bundles of smack. I gotta see my lords get strong. I started off with the crack. The plug sent me with 10 bricks. I sent them all back. And so they sent me off 100, and we got them off that. I got my Cameron gun, rubber grip with the pink nozzle. Skate routes, dirt bikes moving like Chapo. Bulletproof spalding goggles. Cop killer hollows. F around and get your whole shell like a taco. Man, just dog, that's crazy. Penthouse door knobs, drawers like the fullest opal. Diamond safe rooms, indoor pool is purple. Superb like bird and magic. He always has him and Raekwon, and I believe currently now Stove God Cooks. They have some of the most craziest sports references and some of the most really good, craziest and wildest puns and really good sports references, metaphors as well. That really adds to a lot throughout his entire career. Let me talk about the track Curtis made with Styles P and Comedy Machine. I can't go remiss without talking about three really good New York cats, Brooklyn and Buffalo cat as well. Uh, Favorite line here from Ghostface. Let's start with this. Crush ecstasy, stuff in the line in the bibs. Your head mounted in the walls like in the crib. All we do is sit back and laugh, crack beers, hang my keys on your face, sitting next to the deer. My new porn star on earth, I casted her, and we let me wear my jewelry after we F. That was calling her Africa. She knew when she was bringing the fruit. Learned my vernacular. Stoked joined a cake like Dracula. Quick crashed her Sidney Poitier. 1942 bust the mood 38. Styles P with the lyrics, yeah, another twin ghost experience. Trinity goes from the top point to a pyramid. A minute in, I'm aligned with the stars, God body and God's soul divine with the bars. The streets is like his office, protect matching with British walkers. That deal so small and make a bigger offer. More than one ghost, that's a double ghost. Violate us, holes in your bubble coat. Mob ties, mob lies. Connected with niggas, used to smoke dope. And my clientele supreme, ashamed that I left the dean a triple beam. And then last is, of course, Comedy Machine, where he basically kind of gets to encompass where he says, up this hammer to the cross, I'm nailing them. My man try to jam. In the case like Lil Durk, I'm mailing him. Packs out, I'm mailing them. Excuse me with the Wallies, fuchsia and tan, peanut butter and jelly. Raising hell in that jail, and ask my new celly where the hell he from. I'm just a guy that's always talking as far as shoot a buck, shoot it out the back of the car. If it played with us, here is problems promised to God. He's on receiving end in a lot of the bodily scars. I'm pushing a Mercedes Benz without a license. I'm Heisenberg with the rising. My wins is so decisive. And bricks so white over here where my rice is. And in a minute, I'm the richest and the nicest. And then let me go. Because this is a 22 song album. I'm not going to cover all 22 songs. Just want to cover those 3 songs in particular because they were really, really dope. Let's go to another track. All right. Break beats. Where he says, dodging bullets like I'm guarding base like Steve Garvey. Alkaline chest, a bezel, cold body. Calculated snipers, Eastwood vision, cripping assault rifles. Army of 12, I call them disciples, busting off the eyeball. I don't know what's wrong with these killers. They so spiteful. Navy, rails gripping the Terrian in the reins. Chick, click, bang, and then we flip lanes and switch planes. And Bootane, spit blue flames, Bruce Wayne, a new strain, camouflage down with the some low flames, Hussein. And my new chick, acute, and got the bouncing off walls like acoustics. Open up the safe in the floor. We used toothpicks and a bomb on the 4th floor. My main man boofed it. Oh man, it's crazy. Oh, and the 6th floor, excuse me. My man boofed it. But yeah, really, really dope songs. And all right, and let's talk about one more track. And this is the one that got all the Wu members on here. The Trial with him, Ray, Meth, and Jizza. So, Order in the Court, and it basically is playing off of, he's playing pretty much off of a courtroom scene and had him and Ray on trial, where he basically kind of says during the trial, and they're playing like they're in the courtroom. During the trial, I lost my jewelry box, my code defined it blow trial, my jewelry rock, facing spades in the joint of swallow your hot, drawing pictures in the courtroom like he ain't got me. I know he got me. Sketch artist put down his pen and looked at the guard DA with his DNA on the scarf. Exhibit A, the last gun that I found that was marked, traced back from the Panama, the old man on his farm. The courts were silent. All the evidence was presented. Gave me a minute, and he lightened the sentence. And the fake Viking heard you fighting with your weapons. You captain from Queens, take a life in a second. I know your project's dirty needles and diapers in a large vest. This 8-year-old boy on dope, you need a hard sentence. I get you 40, 80 into the extreme. My lawyer leaned over and said, don't worry about a thing. And this verse 2 goes into the course where he says, well, our defense comes to believe that evidence is not permissible and should be considered a mistrial just off of principle due to the fact that there's no audio and no visuals, and the informant had a career criminal objection. And he goes into pretty much the court case and the ruling. Here goes Jizzle, where he says, it is the case of players and bricklayers, men up in baggage claim approach the conveyor, narcotic sniffing dogs. They checked his luggage, transporter under pressure and losing his courage. Three custom agents, they took him in the back room, now interrogated in the height of the crack boom, and sliding a lining in the luggage and the white powder. White flag snouting out the bell and it rang louder. His phone losing service and suspect getting nervous is held down and said, Lord, I don't deserve this. All I want is his name and his contact, his boss's safe house and locations. They can check. They begin singing like the caged bird, whistling important details, and gave his word. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for that song. So yeah, really solid album from Ghostface. Definitely adds to his stealthy and lengthy body of work, and he pretty much continues his consistency throughout his entire career, going back to Iron Man and all the way up until now. And yeah, he continues to just impress me in every other way. Now, yeah, a lot of people may say his voice sounds completely different, which it does on certain songs, like Break Beats, like The Trial, or even like Sample 420 and even For Disciple and Windows. His voice sounds different, but it still sounds good. You know, some people are kind of argue if it was AI or not. I don't know about that. I got to really be sure about that before I go and jump to conclusions. But this definitely is a solid project. Yeah, it's definitely a project that I'm definitely going to go back to a lot. I think this is better to me than the Ray Quan album and the Slick Rick album, and probably one of the better ones off of the Mass Appeal announcement of records. I think this is definitely one of the better ones. So check this one out, and I will be getting on out of here, guys. I've been here long enough. I gotta go take care of some other things. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, liking and sharing and subscribing. I'm out. Peace.